about institutions. And yes, we need strong institutions. And that's a cliche we used to say, institutions. And it is to say institutions don't build themselves. And, you had this exchange with him, let's say the IGP, the Gambia Police Force having a position of IGP. Now, you as IGP, what is your understanding of your role as IGP, of the function of the police as an institution? How do we strengthen this institution to perform the functions that it should do by law? Now, the police, whether it's NAWEC or it's GAMTEL or ports or Ministry of Education, every one of these public institutions, they need to ask themselves that fundamental question. Because as we speak now, I don't see any public institution that is delivering, even a quarter of their mandate effectively and efficiently from A to Z. And there is corruption, there is inefficiency, there is wastage. Now, and then of course there is the abuse, like the IG is doing right now to these journalists. So how do we build these institutions? And I think, it's everywhere. It's like everywhere. If we want to build institutions, we have to have values. Yes, we have to have values. Now, you talked about your job. People need a job. Of course, people need to hold on to their positions. But we all can hold on to our positions still upholding sacred principles, sacred values of honesty, of responsibility, of commitment, of dedication, all right, of justice, of integrity. We can. And so, because when I say these things, it makes me say, okay, maybe we need a whole new society, all right, because, I don't know. But we have to uphold values, first and foremost. And that includes upholding political will, having the political will and commitment. Because I give this example to people, same America, Mike Pence was vice president and head of the Senate. They came to confirm the elections. And Trump, and his people are out there trying to tell him to reject the process, so that they cancel the elections. But Mike Pence, even though it is his government and he's the second in charge, all right, stood his ground. That in this Senate, I will make sure the democratic process, the legal process takes course, unfettered. So even when, Trump invaded and his thugs and, fools invaded the Congress, they made sure it happened. Now, I said, rewind back to 2016 in our National Assembly. The speaker was Abdullah Bojang, the majority leader was Fabakary Kambonjata, put a petition, a motion on the floor of the parliament to extend the life of the parliament and the life of the presidency effectively, destroying our vote. Now, this is the demonstration of values, the presence of values and the lack of values. And we can say everything against, because it's typical we like to say white people this and that. But one thing you can also say, they get to that point to say, look, we will stand on values, we will stand on the rule of law, we will stand for our national interests. Look at Boris Johnson and the COVID scandal. At the end of the day, his own party members made sure he faced the consequences for allowing parties in his prime minister's office. When the COVID, they told everyone, no gatherings. You are celebrating a birthday, in your office. And they kick him out. And until each and every Gambian, and particularly those who hold public office, who lead public institutions, like the IG, like the Attorney General. We have an Attorney General in this country. Why is the Attorney General sitting down, not dealing with these corruption cases that, in fact, some of them coming from his office? The legal advice they got about the security port, for example, and many of the countries is that it is wrong. It is illegal. If it happens, prosecute people. That's what the Attorney General is for. Yeah. Tell your Director of Public Prosecution, do this, prosecute this. Yeah. But you sit there, how do you think we will build a strong Ministry of Justice? How are we going to build a strong National Assembly? How are we going to build a strong police force that is abiding by the rule of law, the principles, the values, the standards set in our Constitution and international best practices? I mean, this is not rocket science. And that is the point we have to talk to make sure public institutions, those who work there, uphold those values. And those values are found in the laws that set up those public institutions and in our Constitution. And they sit there, and we are sitting here. Electricity goes on and off as what? 50, 60 years of independence? I think the people need to begin to speak directly to these public officials. I mean, and for me, they have turned public office into a scam, into a fraud. I have been saying that since independence, our public office is a fraud, all right? That is, they have managed to set up a state in which those who work in that state benefit from public resources beyond and above what is ethical, what is legal, what is justifiable, and at the detriment of the majority of Gambians. Because how can you justify buying one vehicle $12 million? Why can't we give pickup trucks to every minister, every, director who needs to get a vehicle? Most of them don't even need a vehicle. In a ministry, why should every director, every manager have a vehicle? Why?
And utility cars also.
Yeah, why? Why should everyone have an official vehicle? Find your way to go to work. Those who need to go to the field, let them get a pickup truck, a minivan to go to work and come back. We are paying you a salary and all the necessary allowance. Why should we give the director a vehicle, official vehicle? Why should we give a manager an official vehicle? Why should we give everyone, a minister, more than one vehicle? But you have the audacity to go and buy a $12 million vehicle, a $3 million vehicle. Because I need to go to work. I mean, that work you do, what do you produce? What really, and I think that is where we need to move to monetize the performance of a National Assembly member, for example. Yeah. They've been given a Prado, which is 12. Let's monetize at the end of the day, Monday to Friday, January to December, all your functions in the National Assembly, all the things you, when we monetize it, how much is that in monetary terms? How many thousands of dollars is that? And see whether that will amount to more than 3 million. Because at the end of the day, the oversight function you should do. We look at the public institutions, we look at public service, we look at control of public funds. It's in shambles. So at the end of the day, what is the value of your oversight? What is the value?
That is the value. And